Whoa, it's the CU Podcast.
Yeah, we're both wearing Bloodsport shirts, and this is the CU Podcast, number 145 for
We did not plan this.
Tuesday, January 29, 2019. That's Ian Ferguson. In the Bloodsport shirt that he owns, and I do too, except the shirt's lost in Ian's place somewhere. But
Time.
I'm Pat Contry, and this is Thomas's Bloodsport shirt with a nice
Tom's
iconic...
bought you 2 Bloodsport shirts now, and you have one.
I have one of the two, 50% ratio of getting Bloodsport shirts. We'll be talking about Metroid Prime 4 getting rebooted, Valve complaining about capitalism, Zelda Doom total conversion, which is cute, Kingdom Hearts 3 PS4 system, GameStop cancellations, your Q&A. Ian, I've been on an Unsolved Mysteries kick.
Yeah.
I should have been for the past 30 years since I grew up with Unsolved Mysteries. I remember watching like the first season of it. And I don't know how. It used to be on Wednesday nights. It used to be on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern. My bedtime was 9 p.m. when I was 7 or 8, which is probably reasonable for an 8-year-old, right? And then I was scared out of my fucking mind because of the creepy... one of the best theme songs ever.
Oh, yeah.
For a TV show.
Absolutely.
Go look it up. You'll it's still scary. And then Robert Stack...
update.
Update. But this like smoky Robert Stack in his awesome trench coats, walking around some fucking weird Masonic temple place, telling you about murders and ghost stories and crimes and lost loves and twins separated at birth, and it wasn't just all murder and kidnapping shit. It was everything. Alien abductions. I think they eventually got rid of that stuff because Robert Stack said this is horse shit and got rid of it. But anyway, so I've been on a kick lately, and because they're bringing it back to Netflix. And like 2 days later, they mentioned Unsolved Mysteries on fucking SportsCenter.
So is it on Netflix?
It's it's actually on Amazon Prime.
Okay, that's where Vonnie and I watched it a few years ago. We went through like 5 seasons of it.
But they're not like the actual seasons. When you watch them, because even the first episode has updates to past ones, I think they've cut out ones and truncated things and gotten rid of some ones.
They seem to fall into a regular order, but those beginning ones, I don't think...
It's weird.
There's definitely something...
Well, I think originally there were specials that Robert Stack wasn't hosting, so maybe that's part of the...
I think that's just it, yeah.
They update
because they
those
do
ones.
seem to go in chronological order after like the first 3.
Sure. So it's a little shaky at first, but yeah, Unsolved Mysteries, I love Robert Stack.
Yeah, I always... like I said, we were obsessed with it for a while. I always got really uncomfortable around the
update music is creepy.
Oh, no.
As a kid, I got freaked out.
I'm talking about the stories of like people trying to find like their lost parents or their lost kids. It was the lost kids ones that bothered me more.
Really? That bothered you? From like the kids that are abandoned like in the 40s?
Well, that's fine, but it's like you gave your kid up for adoption and now you're going to go seek it out. That's traumatizing. Like, that's a weird one.
It's not traumatizing. You want to reconnect when you're an adult. What's wrong with that?
I mean, your kid should have the say in that, not the adult.
So if you're a 30-year-old and I'm a 6-year-old parent, I can't seek you out?
I mean, it just seems odd. It's not so much that it's odd, it's that they did it all on TV for reaction, and it's like, there are a couple episodes where they talk about it, and they're like, yeah, that didn't go well, and it's like, I don't want to do the deal.
Life is messy.
I just feel like that doesn't need to be shown.
Relationships are messy.
It's very awkward.
A lot of times, though, they're like crying, and like, and sometimes they honestly, they lose track.
Yeah.
They give it up because of the hardship, and they don't know what happened because the records were bad, 60, 70 years ago.
I guess of all the things, that was just the one that I think I had the most trouble watching live.
The ones that bothered me were any ones where they show a composite sketch, because those creep me out to this day. The pencil sketches of criminals, they just, for some reason, those like burn into my head, those images of those killers. Whenever they used to do it, like the Zodiac, or W.B. Cooper, which was an early Unsolved Mysteries episode, he was a hijacker, plane hijacker. That freaked me out. They just freaked me out. But anyway, Unsolved Mysteries is great. Speaking of creepy, Ian, you want to talk about the Ted Bundy confession tapes? Netflix
we
4-part documentary.
Those. Holy shit! Yeah.
Or you watched them. You didn't listen to the actual tapes, so you watched them.
Yeah.
Well, you don't have the little cassettes.
Yeah, I don't have my own souvenir set.
Fucking sociopath.
So yeah, that was wild. Learned a lot of things. I knew a lot. I have that problematic habit that I think some of us have, where late at night when you can't go to bed, you just start learning about serial killers.
Yeah, it's always healthy.
Yeah. So I knew quite a bit about...
When you start hearing stuff, you're like, what the fuck? Around your house.
I knew quite a bit about Ted Bundy going into it, but it's his... listening to his demeanor and his talking and seeing, like, I've mostly read about him, seeing him act, like, in court, it's terrifying. I mean, he's a definition of a sociopath.
Yeah, the definition.
Exactly. You know, he
acts like a normal person, but he's also
totally aloof from everything too.
Yeah,
you can tell it's only partially. You can tell it's an act. There are parts where you can see that act unraveling.
When he gets angry, when he hit the thing down in front of the judge, like you saw the anger come out. It's like, oh yeah, that's a guy that killed at least 30 people. 30 women. Yeah.
So I was unaware of. I did not know about his, or if I did, the knowledge of it got pushed to the wayside. His champion, his family, I was not aware of.
Oh, his groupie wife that became his wife. Yeah.
Yep. Didn't know about.
Oh, there was women in the courtroom that were watching, enamored with them.
Yeah, and they didn't want to say they were, but they couldn't even explain why. I think the thing that got me though was, obviously, Ted Bundy is awful, and I learned new things. I wanted to watch it, but the end of the show, spoilers, of course, the last episode where they show everyone, like, gathering around outside the prison and cheering and selling fucking shirts and stuff, that got fucking disturbing, too.
And that was one of Ted Bundy's truths where he said, that's disturbing. Like, that's more horrifying that they're doing that. And it's like, yeah, you're actually right, that you have these people outside celebrating some frat boys, people selling shirts, saying, like, burn Ted Burn, celebrating
Tuesday is Friday, yeah.
Yes, celebrating someone's execution. And that stuff still happens. There's not as many executions that are publicized as much as that, because Ted Bundy is the most famous serial killer in our history for a reason. He was one of the first ones that people knew about, because before that there was like, what's a serial killer? They said in the documentary that it wasn't really a thing that people knew about or publicized like that. Then the 60s and 70s came, and all of a sudden you had Zodiac Killer, Son of Sam, you had John Wayne Gacy, you had a bunch that just got thrown in the public, knowledge. But yeah, that was terrifying to me.
And the last thing that I did that I just thought was interesting, because I've watched a lot of Forensic Files, as have you, and all that.
Oh yes.
I did not know he was the first case to use bite mark,
which they said
is bullshit.
Which they said it's not good, but it helped convict them.
But I have no doubt,
because they didn't have DNA yet. DNA didn't get really big until like the mid '80s.
Yeah, you were talking, like, when they were discussing instead of blood type, DNA, they were talking about, it was the same blood type as the woman who went missing, or something like that. But yeah, the teeth thing, I had always heard that it was bullshit, and when they bring it up on, like, Forensic Files, I'm like, I don't think that's admissible anymore. And they mention that it's not admissible, or I don't think it's considered junk science. Yeah,
it shows how unprepared the police were, the FBI. No one was talking to each other. They didn't have databases on computers that they can cross-reference criminals. It was all just looking at papers and shit. So then, of course, I knew about his escapes, but Jesus Christ, let him escape twice is insane. And then, unfortunately, after the second escape, he killed 3 more women. Yeah, and injured 2 others. So it's like, fuck, like, that's insane. Where he was unraveling, obviously, at that point, where he couldn't even, like, control anymore, the killing urges.
I did know about him talking in the third person, essentially, to describe, like, oh, well, I won't tell you what I did, but I'll hypothetically tell you what. Well, this
person will just say, it's really disturbing.
I had always known about that, but to hear him do it and talk that way, it was very weird, because he's very specific. There's no shred of doubt in his mind that he's just talking about what he's doing, but that fucking stupid little loophole. Well, I can tell you what I think a person like that would do. And they said,
well, it's like the OJ book. Yeah. If I had done it, this is how I would have done it.
And of course, he does admit to killings before he's executed.
Yeah, the day before.
The day before, he admits to him,
thinking that would save him, but no.
But yeah, wherever I was going with that, crazy show.
The whole thing is nuts.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. He admitted then, but he never once, according to the guy who was taping him, never once slipped up and admitted.
Yes, guilt even while he never said, I did this. He said, well, this person might have done this. Maybe this person, did this and that in graphic detail. And it's like, oh, okay. Imagine you're the interviewer listening to this. You're like, oh, this is fun. Yeah, and that's your job, but that's.
I think the part that got me the most was when he made the police officer recount the details of everything.
Oh, on trial?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was bad. Because, like, there's no real reason to go through to that detail again. And they even said, like, he wanted to hear it.
Yeah,
because he was his own lawyer. Because the guy was obviously very intelligent. He was going to law school. He was.
Well, even that judge was charmed by him.
I wouldn't say charmed as much as he was. I wouldn't call him charmed. He knew that this was a person that went off the deep end. Obviously,
sure.
He did say though you went in the wrong direction at the end, like when he was sentencing him. For the, he's like, yeah, you would have been a good lawyer. He would have been a good lawyer. The guy was very smart, obviously, to do that for so long and get away with it. He escaped twice from custody, and he was a sociopath. So yeah, well, check out the Ted Bundy tapes if you don't want to be able to sleep at night. Do that. Ian, you want to mention the Terry Crews things because you were in the mentions of Terry Crews.
So which one did you find me in? It was about the toxic masculinity stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
So Terry Crews.
Yeah.
Terry Crews has come out, and spoken about sexual assault and toxic masculinity, because Terry Crews was molested by a Hollywood agent at a Hollywood party in front of his wife and other people.
Yeah.
This guy came up and just grabbed his junk in front of people. He didn't know how to react. So D.L. Hughley, the comedian, called out Terry Crews saying, yeah, I should have slapped the shit out of him. And it's like, well, that wouldn't have been good because I would have gotten arrested and blackballed from Hollywood and I wouldn't be able to speak out upon this today. That would have been the worst possible reaction. And Terry Crews seems like the reason everyone loves Terry Crews is that he's very for being the fucking jacked up.
He's a gentle giant.
He's like the nicest guy in the world. Like he really is. Like
right.
He's just a nice guy. And even though he played football, he's obviously he's in the Expendable movies and everything. He's not the model of a guy that you would picture coming out talking about sexual assault, which is why it's important. Because he's even a person someone that we mutually know, I won't say, when they're talking about, well, why don't, this is at a convention, he's like, well, I don't understand these, and people don't honestly understand how some women don't come out and talk about sexual assault. I said, listen, and I said to this person, you're like a tough guy who can take care of yourself, and picture someone else feeling shame that they can't come out and talk about these things. But you can at least, at how big you are, put up a fight. If you're a 100-pound woman, first of all, you can't put up a fight against someone who weighs 100 pounds more for you. It's impossible. You're not going to be able to defend yourself. So then you have this fear, this feeling of fear to begin with, and then you feel shame that you couldn't do anything about it. So at least if you're a man, I understand that you won't be able to not be able to come forward or talk to someone about it, but that's why, because you're a man, you're strong, you at least you can't picture yourself, oh, I can never do that. But for a woman, that's a potential that's much more likely. So that's why people were like, wow, Terry Crews is speaking about this, because no one can picture someone like Terry Crews being able to be sexually assaulted by someone and not and being ashamed of it on top of that, because he's like 250 pounds of muscle, like 6'4". Right. So that's why people are like, well, this is important. This guy speaking out. And he spoke out in front of Congress. He spoke about it.
Right, exactly. And I don't know, it's disheartening. I think the reason I got into that one thread was, if it's the one, I've been in a couple threads with Crews lately.
And your thread was defining masculinity versus toxic masculinity.
Oh, yeah. So it was something that I had found once that I thought was good. It wasn't mine, but it's a screenshot from Tumblr, and it's, people immediately, as soon as you start talking about toxic masculinity, there's a lot of people who immediately have this knee-jerk reaction. We see it all the time online. And the easiest way to describe it, and like I said, I'm lifting this, but is a burger is a burger. A cheeseburger is a burger with cheese.
Sure.
Not saying that all burgers have cheese. Masculinity is masculinity. Toxic masculinity is a type of masculinity.
So I think a lot of people that when they hear toxic masculinity, they say that you're attacking masculinity itself, and that's not the point of it. Right. It's that masculinity is the same thing with femininity. There's very positive attributes that we associate with it, but the toxic part of it is when the bad parts get put into overdrive and then bad shit comes out. It's like bullying. Like for me, bullying is one of my biggest pet peeves in life, because I was bullied, I saw other people bullied, and people associate that usually, oh, boys are being boys. They said that in that Gillette ad that people were pissed about. And you can make heads or tails of the motivation for that Gillette ad.
The motivation doesn't matter at this point, though. The message is just get it out there.
But the point is that there are parts of being a boy or a man, the bad parts that are glossed over. that, and I always go back to bullying, because at least when I was a child, bullying was seen as, oh, it's natural. Kids just fucking punch each other, make fun of each other, and it shouldn't be natural. It shouldn't be. Like even in my high school, you know, when boys picked on the other, there were some teachers that sort of like turned a blind eye to it. It's like, oh, whatever. It's just the jock pushing the kid into a locker. It's like, oh yeah, stop it, but not really having the kid get in trouble, not discouraged.
Right.
And that's toxic, because people get hurt, they get damaged, and that's what Ian was speaking to in that. I just thought it was interesting that Terry Crews, you know, D.L. Hewley's going after Terry Crews, and Terry Crews has to defend himself. A
lot of people go after him. There's a few people who have gone after him.
What's that guy who was I call him like the Black Alex Jones, Tariq Nasheed.
Tariq Nasheed.
It's fucking awful. You know, it's like,
and that's who he was fighting with, and that's the thing. Like, Terry was, you know, he comes out and discusses his experience. He comes out in support of women, and that's great. And people give him shit. Then, like, what got me into this again was, it was like 2 weeks ago, in response to a woman saying something about sexual harassment with females. The guy goes, yeah, so when can we talk about male sexual harassment? And immediately people were like, Terry Crews did try to talk about it, and you all shunned him. Yeah. So, and the guy had been negative on Terry Crews before, and it's like the only time they want to talk about it in a way where they're not making fun of it, it seems, is when guys can use it to distract from something else.
Yeah.
The it happens to us too thing is their go-to excuse when women talk about sexual harassment. But when a guy actually wants to talk about his sexual harassment, oh, you should have beat him up.
No one's saying men can't talk about their experiences. No one's saying that. Some men are probably just as ashamed, like Terry Crews was.
Yeah.
Where he's like, I don't want to talk about this. I feel like less of a man talking about this.
Well, that shit happens. You feel, I mean, you can feel questioned. I mean, I can understand that. You know, you don't necessarily want to talk about those things that happen to you, and in your head there's always that constant game you're going to play of, how did I let this happen? How is it my fault? That's the sort of stuff that goes through people's heads.
I had a situation where I was gaslighted. Ian knows about it. I haven't spoken about it publicly, where it was weird. Maybe one day I'll talk about it, you know?
Oh yeah.
Behind the scenes stuff that's ugly. Anyway, so let's talk about the Royal Rumble real quick.
Yeah, you can talk about it. I don't know nothing about it.
I watched parts of the Royal Rumble itself. Highlights. I didn't watch the whole event. We'll just say right now WWE's in a weird spot, because they are looking to say, oh, we're looking to be different now and do something different. But for right now, it's all just, I think, for show, but we'll see what happens. They had Finn Balor fight Lesnar for the they re-pushed Finn Balor finally after like 2.5 years and stuck in mid-card hell.
That's good.
He had a great showing against Lesnar, where Lesnar actually looked like he was hurt and going to lose. I know you don't like Lesnar, but when Lesnar actually what's the expression, shows ass for someone, like, it's good for that wrestler. So that was good. Lesnar obviously retained, but Balor's a big star. Like, he's back to like where he should have been always. Daniel Bryan is doing awesome work as the heel. His heel character is awesome. If you would have told me that Bryan would have came back within a year and been like, oh my God, Bryan's back, everyone loves him, to now he's a vilified heel, I would have said there's no way that's going to happen. But his vegan anti-consumerism, you guys are all destroying the earth and you got to pay attention, villain is great, because it's true. Everything he says is true, that you're all people distracted and not worrying about killing the earth by everything. It's fantastic heel work. Fantastic.
That also sounds like a throwback to like a 90s era character where...
sure, but you know, now that the earth is getting destroyed, like, yes, it makes sense, and so people are booing him. But like, it's like, well, what he's saying is true. And AJ Styles is just like, we're allowed to do whatever we want. And it's like, yeah, eat those hot dogs and, you know, burn up all the petrol and gas in your car and things like that. But it's great work, and they had a good match, obviously, but I think it was overshadowed by other things. Rousey loses to Saka for the not Rousey, excuse me. Becky Lynch loses to Saka for the SmackDown Women's Championship, which people predicted, and she lost cleanly because she entered the Rumble and won the Women's Rumble, which obviously everyone wanted her to win. And then Seth Rollins wins
Has
the
a penis.
wins the what?
Seth Rollins.
You don't like Seth Rollins?
No, I just said he has a penis.
Oh.
We talked about it once on the podcast.
Oh yes. Little Instagram trouble.
Yeah.
That was put on WWE's page because of the fees. They probably stopped it after that. Seth Rollins.
Wangarang.
Seth Rollins wins the men's rumble. Everyone sort of saw that coming. It was like, well, he's pretty much the front runner. If you had a bet, it would have been him. There wasn't so like unlike last year when Nakamura won and Asuka won last year. I call her Asuka won last year. People were kind of shocked that they had. I was shocked they had two Asians win. I just was. I was like, that's kind of surprising. Both didn't win the title though, but I was still surprised. But yeah, Seth Rollins wins. He's gonna fight Lesnar. He's gonna win. I mean, Seth Rollins is a fine choice. He's a great worker. He has put the company halfway on his back the past year, but Seth Rollins still is like 80% over. He's never been like the guy who was like, oh, you're rabidly wanted to like cheer for him. It's like, yeah, we like Seth Rollins. Sort of like how, you know what I mean?
I like Seth Rollins.
But you're not going to be like, oh, we got to see this match. Like, you're never like that for. I like Seth Rollins.
I might be in the minority, but I felt like it was easier. I felt like he was better as a heel, but also because he had people propping him up who could make it easier.
Like his ceiling, he's to me hit his ceiling already. Guys like Finn Balor have a higher ceiling that they never went with, that are I think more likable for the crowd. That, you know what I mean? Like not that Rollins is a bad face, he's a better heel. And that's the problem with some of these guys where they hit their, I'll say 80% ceiling, where yeah, he's fine, no one's complaining, but he's not like a huge star like Jericho or like The Rock. Meanwhile, what's now going to be the most anticipated match that should headline WrestleMania is Becky Lynch versus Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
This has the makings of like one of the biggest main events that people outside of the hardcore audience, the casuals, want to watch. She shows up on Raw, Becky Lynch, where they even deflected, oh, she's going to make her decision on SmackDown who she's going to face. No, she comes out on Raw after Rousey in her first year has been an above average performer, below average on the mic.
Right.
Like way below average on the mic. She had one of the cringiest promos on Raw ever, especially for a champion. Like, she was lost. The crowd ate her alive. She even said, oh, you're making me stutter. And it's like, oh, God, you don't say this stuff. And because the crowd was chanting for Becky because they love Becky. Becky is the biggest star in the WWE right now.
Oh, yeah.
It's not even close.
What I've heard.
It's not even close.
This is good. She deserves it.
It's potentially all of wrestling. She's been fantastic.
Sick, yeah.
And they weirdly hedged their bets with her at first after the crowd saw, because they turned her heel. They expected the crowd to boo her. No, the crowd loved her.
Yeah.
She said, you're taking my spot, Charlotte. This is mine. And the crowd's like, yeah, because Becky, you've been doing nothing for like a year and a half. So yeah, they agreed.
She was one of those, it's hard to get it right, but it was one of those heels that's a face.
Yeah, she's a tweener. She's a Stone Cold.
Yeah, exactly.
She's a Stone Cold character. She absolutely is. And the crowd eats it up. Because they're like, holy shit, we haven't seen a woman wrestler like this ever. Like, just getting in men's face and talking shit to John Cena. It's like, this is like, wow. And it's authentic to them. So she comes out to Ronda Rousey after Rousey beats Bayley. And that wasn't a great match. It was an okay match. Because Rousey beat Sasha Banks clean last night. I think Sasha Banks is leaving. I think she's going to go to AEW or somewhere else. That's a whole other conversation. I don't think Sasha Banks is happy at all with how she's being used.
I'm not happy with how she's being used.
Because she's very good, and she hasn't been.
They squandered her moment where she could have
like
had
a year and a half ago.
Run. Yeah.
Let's hold the conversation. But Becky comes out, gets in Rousey's face, and Becky says, I'm going to humiliate you. I'm going to break your mystique. I'm going to take your title and kick your ass all calmly. And Rousey actually got really intense, and she's better being intense versus like the all shucks baby face like Bob Backlund, like, oh yeah, I just want to fight people, and because the crowd ain't buying it. The crowd turned on Rousey.
Yeah,
they turned on her. So but now you have someone they're really gonna boo, Rousey, and someone they're really gonna cheer, Becky, and there's gonna be some sort of double turn thing happen, I think, where Becky's gonna win, or if doesn't win, Rousey's gonna turn on her and cheat or do something like or do something vicious make her bleed like the Bret Hart Stone Cold thing that happened famously back. They're going to do something like that. It's going to be big.
Sure.
It's going to be big. Like, this is a match that I have not been excited to watch a WrestleMania match in forever.
Yeah.
And this is going to be very interesting.
This could be a good one.
Because, yeah. So anyway, so that's that. As we get our 25-minute intro. By the way, I want to apologize on behalf of Ian. This was I didn't realize how upset I can make the DOA Extreme fans out there who gotten my mentions and now they're showing all these scantily clad cartoon women in my mentions. They're saying, how dare you say someone's 14 years old? I want to say that wasn't me. That was Ian. Get your creepy shit out of my mentions.
I think a girl looks like she's 14. I'm going to say she looks like she's 14. Deal with it.
Okay, this I actually want to go through some of this. We don't usually respond on the podcast to tweets. I want to just walk through some of these real quick. I think it'll be fun.
Okay.
He doesn't have to get to work. There's no rush here. In my mentions, we're just gonna go through because Ian did it. You should have been tweeting Ian, not me. I didn't say anyone looked 14. I said it could be 18. I didn't say that at first. Let me go to my tweets here and I'll run through them. Do you remember calling one of the DOA Extreme girls 14?
The blonde girl. I said she looked like she's 14.
Which is an opinion, which is fine. You know, that's fine.
That character in specific has been
so
criticized.
Look, I see from this guy, Helena 14, this one, and shows the girl with her boobs.
That's not Helena. I mean, that's not who we were talking about. No, that doesn't look 14.
So someone else you said looked 14.
Yes.
Okay, but then it gets worse. This is from the at War on Fan Service. This is what thumbs down. This is why your channel still drives so much negativity, Pat and Ian, way before Diablo Immortal. You keep talking so arrogantly to things you don't fully understand, and why you even care about this device. It's not even made for the West. Helena is 21 years old, not 14. So I
wasn't talking about Helena. Whatever.
Wait. So people are now trying to defend themselves liking these women that are 18 or 21. I don't care.
That's fine.
Like whatever the fuck you want. I just think it's creepy to have this in an arcade. That's all. With other people watching and children. That's all. One person brought up about it's good to smell you smell the beach with the VR scents and you smell everything. I'm like, yeah, that's why this game is going to be popular, because of the scents.
That's
all right. So I apologize to pass it, Ian. I don't want to see your creepy mentions anymore with showing me these girls. I don't care about it.
I'm trying to figure out the name of the one I was talking about. Hold on here.
And some do look underage. They do.
Give me 1 second.
It's
just one in particular. Just one in particular that I'm talking about, and that's what we were literally watching. Yeah, right here. Her name is Marie Rose.
Yeah, she does look like 14 years old. I agree with Ian, so I'm not going to apologize. Some of these are creepy. Sorry, it's creepy. A little creepy to me. Just a little bit. I'm not judging you. Do whatever you want in your home. In the arcade, it's fucking creepy.
Yeah, she's 21.
No, she looks like she's 13 years old. That one. Yeah. I can confirm. I'll even say 13. So, yeah, it's fucking creepy. All right, let's get on with the show. Ian, Metroid Prime 4 was announced as being in development with a weird graphic Nintendo put out. So they usually don't do that stuff. Like a year and a half ago.
Yeah, 2017. I think they just want to let people know that it was coming, and
that they're working on it. But now it's hit a
we got an update.
Update. Robert Stacks
update. So Shinya Takahashi, the senior managing executive officer, said that the game hasn't reached the standards that publishers want.
And this is rare for Nintendo to say something like this.
Yeah, it is.
They're usually pretty tight-lipped about their first-party development.
And he goes on, although this is very regrettable, we must let you know that the current development progress has not reached the standards we seek in a sequel to the Metroid Prime series. Nintendo always strives for the highest quality in our games, and in our development phase, we challenge ourselves and confront whether or not the game is living up to the quality on a daily basis. From this standpoint, we have decided, etc., etc. What they've done is they've basically sacked the development team, and they're bringing Retro Studios back on board. Retro Studios
was it a Bandai Namco that was working on it first?
I don't know.
I'll look it up. Okay.
I thought it was in-house. Anyway, so you threw me off. So Retro Studios is taking the helm of it again. Retro Studios is probably most well known for being the team behind the original 3 Metroid Prime games. So while the delay here is unfortunate, and I'll get more to that in a second, it is nice to know that if they were having issues and they couldn't do it, at least Nintendo bucked up and admitted that and are giving it back to the original team. I think that's a very good sign. And the sad thing, though, about that is for them to work their magic, they have to restart... They're essentially restarting the development entirely from scratch. What was he saying? He said, it will be a long road until the next time we'll be able to update you on the development progress, and development time will be extensive. However, we will continue developing the game so that when it is completed, it will stand shoulder to shoulder with the past Metroid Prime series. So, yeah, there's going to be, I think they said, I think we're just guessing, but I would guess about 2 years.
It was Bandai Namco that they gave it to. So they screwed the pooch.
Actually, I think Bandai Namco did Other M, and that was awful. I could be wrong. Anyways.
All right, so this is unprecedented for Nintendo to come out and say this. They entrusted their first-party title, a long series with someone who screwed up. I just don't know how it got this far,
Team Ninja.
where they work on it for a year and a half at least that we know about. Might have been more than that. And then Nintendo looks at it and says, "Oh, this is garbage. This is just not." I just don't know how it got to that point where like either they thought it was going okay or they could be salvaged, and then they look at it and be, "Oh wow, we have to start from scratch." Like, that's monumental.
I know some of the team members who worked on the original Metroid Prime games are.
I thought you were going to say original Metroid.
No. Original Metroid Prime games are no longer with Retro, but I don't know. It seemed odd to me that they wouldn't approach them first for doing the fourth one. It's not like they just did the first one and then disappeared from there. They did all three of them. So Nintendo makes good stuff, but
this is the good news is that Nintendo being so transparent, people are taking this well.
Yes.
They're like, well, this is good. You care about quality. You're not just going to shit out some Metroid game that you don't think is up to your Nintendo standards, which are extremely high for obviously their first party titles.
Yeah.
Nintendo usually doesn't put out first party titles that are just shit upon totally. You know,
there's some, but yeah, not many.
It's rare.
Yeah.
Or it's something like Other M, where it's, we don't like the story. You know, it's like, well, the game is still technically good.
And I looked that one up. That was Team Ninja. That was by the people who did Ninja Gaiden and Dead or Alive and all that.
They did Other M?
Yeah.
Okay. But see what I mean, though? It's not like a game that's either broken or clunky, though. But this just seems like this is so off the rails that if Nintendo has to make a public announcement, they could have even just... They didn't have to like come out with a YouTube video. They could have just tweeted it or said something at E3. Say, oh, yeah, we went another direction. It's going to be delayed. The fact that they came out and said this publicly means that... to me, they're somewhat shaming the past development team in a way, even if they don't mention them by name and be like, yeah, they fucked up, and we're now ashamed that we made the bad decision to go with them. Like, that's to me what it is. They're trying to save face by making this.
Well, and I think that's exactly what it is. But even though the language used is not the most positive, by just coming out and saying entirely this is what's going on.
Yes.
Not just a little blurb like, oh, Metroid Prime 4 was delayed and delayed and delayed. Just come out and be like, yeah, it's fucking garbage. We got to restart this.
Because they delayed Breath of the Wild probably to come out with the Switch when it launches. But so that was because they pushed it back like a year. But people weren't like, they were like, okay, but this is something catastrophic to Nintendo, to me, because this is out of their hands at this point. So now what this means is that a game that you, in theory, might have seen
this year
come out this year, sometime near the end of the year, you ain't going to see this game for a minimum 2 years.
Christmas 2020.
You think that's soon?
It's 2 years.
A little less than 2 years. I'll say 2021.
All right, that's fine.
I'll see, because I don't know what's going to go into this game, starting from scratch though with the dev time. But this is bad. I mean, it's good that they told us about this.
They probably got the story and all that out there.
You think they at least have the same story?
Yeah, they're probably hashing through that.
But the fact that they're going to say we're tossing it all out and starting from scratch.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I hope Bandai Namco didn't burn some sort of bridge here with Nintendo.
I don't think so.
All right. Okay.
I mean, they're behind Smash.
Okay. maybe that's what it was. Oh, we trust you with that development. We'll give you this instead as well as a bonus.
Just had the scraps working on the Metroid Prime game.
Okay. Robinhood is an investing app that lets you buy and sell stocks, ETFs, options, and cryptos, all commission-free. While other brokerages charge up to $10 for every trade, Robinhood doesn't charge any commission fees. So you can trade stocks and keep all your profits. Plus, there's no account minimum deposit needed to get started. So you can start investing at any level.
The design is simple and intuitive. It makes investing easy for newcomers and experts alike. View easy-to-understand charts, get some market data, and place a trade in just 4 taps on your smartphone. You can also view your stock collections, such as 100 most popular.
With Robinhood, you can learn how to invest in the market as you build your portfolio, discover new stocks, track your favorite companies, and get custom notifications for price movements so you never miss the right moment to invest. Robinhood is giving listeners of the Completely Unnecessary podcast, that's us, a free stock like Apple, Ford, or Sprint to help you build your portfolio. You can sign up at cupodcast.robinhood.com. All right.
Patty hit me with that Valve news.
Oh, we love talking about. We're the official digital store podcast as well.
Yes.
Valve says that Metro Exodus becoming an Epic Game Store exclusive is unfair to Steam customers. Don't sell on the platform.
Then
my God.
I don't
Okay.
know. Fucking get better business practices.
All right, so Epic Games, we've been talking about a little bit because they're really trying to supercharge themselves as an alternative to Steam to selling digital PC games. And we talked about how their revenue split was so much favorable for publishers because Steam is about 70-30, while Epic is about 88-12. So with Pat math, if you're publishing, you're getting 30 to 40% more profits with that model.
Yeah.
And we said that, well, this is going to be something big because publishers are going to go on over here. And it was already starting before with, what was that Ubisoft game? Division 2.
Yeah.
Division 2 was gonna come to Epic Games and be exclusive. So that was going to do well. But this Metro Exodus game it looks like people are excited for this. So for this to be exclusive on Epic is a huge deal.
Yeah.
And naturally, if I'm going to be, Deep Silver, putting out Metro Exodus. If I'm Deep Silver, I'm of course going to go. You're going to offer me an exclusivity deal, and I'm making 30 to 40% more with the Pat math. I got to do the exact percentage. Of course, I'm going to be exclusive. Why not? People are still going to find the game. So, but
it would be like 18% more, I think.
What's that?
I think they're making like 18%.
See that? Well, that's on paper, Ian. But you go 18 over 70. That's the Pat math. See, I'm teaching you.
I see.
Algebra. So it's 18 divided by 70. You're making 26% more. Now it's almost, let's say 25% more money.
Delicious.
When you jump from 70 to 88. So that's not small. 25% more. So they were already doing pre-orders on Steam. So Steam came out and made a statement saying we're going to honor that, and Deep Silver did as well. Yeah, we're offering it, but they're cutting off the pre-orders
right
after the exclusivity announcement. But you're still going to get your game in future announcement. So this was the announcement.
That's even crazier to me, though, is that you're still going to get it. They're not screwing your customers.
No.
As a matter of fact, your customers, if they decide they wanted to get it,
they're still making the money.
Screwing themselves because I believe they're selling it for $50 on the Epic Game Store and $60 on Steam.
Yeah, so they're selling it for cheaper. So this is what this was the announcement. Epic's this is from Deep Silver. Epic's generous revenue terms are a game changer. They are that will allow publishers to invest more into content creation or pass savings onto the players. Deep Silver CEO Dr. Clemens Kondratis said. It sounds like a Bond villain. By teaming up with Epic, we'll be able to invest more into the future of Metro and our ongoing partnership with series developer 4A Games to the benefit of our Metro fans. That just basically means we're keep more of our money. We can do more. And if we want to, we can lower the price because we'll still make about the same amount or if a little bit more, and you'll save money.
And this is what I like about what they're doing here and this coming up is it's not just a theoretical talk about, well, if, developers make more, then the games will fall in price. People talk about that all the time, and we never see it. Just like how, digital games will be cheaper than physical games because, no big company has done that yet. The fact that they put it on Epic exclusively and then drop the price $10 from what it was going to sell for that's a really nice cause and effect situation.
Sure.
There. You see the response immediately. People are saving $10. Developers happy. The only one crying about it is Steam. And they can change it. All they have to do is change their profit sharing model.
Valve has updated the store page for Metro Exodus with a notice that it will discontinue pre-orders on Metro Exodus later today. When it was announced. While it was acknowledged that the game and any DLC will be fully supported for those who pre-order on Steam, Valve clearly took issue with the move. We think the decision to remove the game is unfair to Steam customers, especially after a long pre-sales period. We apologize to Steam customers that were expecting to be available for sale through the February 15th release date, but we were only recently informed of the decision and given limited time to let everyone know.
It's absurd.
It's unfair. It's not unfair. People that bought it are going to get the game. You just don't want. You're just afraid now that this is going to be now people jumping ship off Steam to go exclusive to Epic Games.
Yeah,
which you should be afraid.
And it's the thing is that it seems like they're trying to make an appeal to their customer base to be upset about it too.
Why would I be upset?
But why would they be upset? There's two options here. Either the person who gets who pre-ordered the game gets their pre-ordered game from Steam and they're happy, or they cancel their Steam pre-order and they go spend $10 less on it through the Epic Game Store. There is no reason for the customer to be mad here. I don't think there are any hardcore Steam loyalists who are like, I'm upset I can't pay $10 more for this game right now. That's not how this works.
Oh, I gotta download another launcher. This is great. I'm not gonna be upset that a digital middleman might potentially lose money in the future. Then you know what, Valve?
Adapt.
Lower your percentage to match or even get closer. How about 15% instead of 30%?
Because, you can make the argument if you want that, Steam is very well known for sure and people will search it or, go there naturally. But so if you don't feel like you can do 10% or 12%, then do 15%. But you got to cut closer to the Discords.
It's and capitalism. Well, this is the good positive aspects of capitalism because consumers sometimes wins. A lot of times they do when there's competition. This is great.
Yeah, so they need to get closer to their Discords and the Epic Game Stores, and then maybe they'll see a change. But honestly, if you could publish on Epic, and know people are going to go, why would you bother with Steam? It's.
Well, if you're a big game, you can do it. If you're smaller,
you got to do everything. But with the bigger ones, it's like just. Don't bother.
But you're going to advertise Epic. Even if I'm a smaller indie dev, I'll be like, I'm going to link you to the Epic Games ones because I need more of that cake.
Yeah, you have
25% more money is not a small amount. That's a chunk.
You put it everywhere so people can buy it, but you push the Epic.
If I'm selling a game for $10, keeping let's see, I'd be keeping $7 versus $9. That's a huge percentage. That's huge. That's a huge difference. $2 more per game at only $10. If it's a $20 game with Pat Myth, $14 versus about $18.
And you could drop it $1 and still gain $1, and
you can drop it a couple dollars and you're still making more
money. Yeah.
So maybe that's what's going to happen is that indie developers will have a lower price on Epic Game Store. And naturally, people will flock over because I would do that.
Yeah, that's the quickest way to get everyone to change is literally drop your prices by like $1 or $2 and just see what happens.
So my $10 game on Steam is only $8 or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, or $9, or it's more for like I think if you're like a $30 game, you'll see the difference. It's like on $30 on Steam, it's only $25.
Yeah,
or $26 on Epic Games. And then this is the beginning of not the end for Valve, but Valve's got to adapt. See, the problem with Valve sitting fat and happy with no competition is that now they're used to their revenue stream being so puffed up artificially, is that now they have to provide more value, or they're gonna have to lower the price to match. And that's capitalism. So don't fucking whine about it. That now you have some staunch competition, right? Look at me. I'm taking a. I'm not siding with the corporation. Well, I'm siding with one corporation, Epic Games. But you know what, Epic Games?
We're just corporate shells, though. You
know what I would love to see on the Epic Game Store? And I'll pay any value. The value, I don't care if you do a 10% split with the publisher yourselves. Unreal Tournament. How about that, Epic Games?
I thought you were going to say Quake 5.
You trying to be happy? Trying to fuck with me, Ian?
Yeah, I am.
It's the wrong company, but okay. Anyway.
I know, Pat. That's the point. Also, I know that you're anti-Quake and pro Unreal.
I'm not anti-Quake. I used to play some Quake 2 and Quake 3 Arena.
Quake 3 Arena I played a lot of.
But that's like the dumbed down first-person shooter that
See, I knew that's what you
thinking man from Unreal Tournament would want to play. Unreal Tournament's a thinking man's first-person shooter. So I'm trying to say here. All right.
So, GameStop. Man, they're not in a great place.
No.
They apparently
they can't find someone to buy them.
Yeah,
that was breaking news. Is that they hired someone in the fall to try to find a buyer. They thought there was a deal, and everyone looked at him and said, "No, this is bad.
Yeah,
this is bad."
Through. So GameStop is getting real dangerously close to getting fucked right in the nose.
Nose, I was gonna say in the ear.
Any of those orifices. But in an embarrassment, they started canceling some pre-orders for the PlayStation 4 Kingdom Hearts 3 Collector's Edition system, which of course has all the little fancy artwork on it and stuff like that and on the controller, and people are huge into Kingdom Hearts, and man, they've been waiting for this shit for 12 years or something. So needless to say, they were excited. Well, I believe these went on sale pre-order about a year ago, and someone noticed, broke the news, Kenny received an email that stated, due to an unforeseen issue, we will be unable to fulfill your order. We will be canceling your order for this, and you will not be charged. For this inconvenience, we'll be sending you a $25 coupon code for your next GameStop.com order. Simply blah, 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 blah. We sincerely apologize for any frustration this may cause you. If you have any further questions, please don't hesitate to let us know.
Then they tweeted it. Due to an error, we oversold on pre-orders for the limited edition Kingdom Hearts. Unfortunately, some orders will need to cancel. $12 gift coupon. We apologize.
So this is a bunch of hot horse shit, and this is not the first time GameStop's done it.
How do you oversell a pre-order?
Well, so my friend Jess, who lives in Buffalo, I talked to her.
Tell me about how GameStop works.
She worked there for 10 years, and hi Jess, and she said that. Because someone was like, well, it's not their fault because it just depends on how many Sony sells them.
What?
Yeah, and she goes, no, that's not how it works. To be able to sell them, we need to know how many we're getting so we can technically cut off pre-orders. She goes, GameStop used to do this sort of stuff all the time where, I know, you're looking for a chance to use it, where they would oversell what they have to show the company, hey, we can
sell more.
We can sell more. And whether or not the company goes,
and somebody might be like, okay, that's fine. We still have a limited amount.
Yeah, we still only have these ones. So why are you doing that? And apparently that's how it happens. They oversell based on this desire, I guess, to please, to like try to please.
Does GameStop know how this shit works?
No, apparently fucking not.
So Sony, remember, Kingdom Hearts is Disney, right?
Yeah.
Sony's got to make a deal with Disney off the side to say we are making this amount of these. They're probably paying amount of money per console that Disney then ends up getting as part of the deal. There isn't just like Disney's not going to say, oh, just we'll pay a certain amount and make how many ever you want and you keep the extra profits. That's not how this shit usually works.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a finite amount that they're contracted that they could probably sell because Disney won't allow them to sell more than that. How fucking stupid are you, GameStop? You can't just oversell something like this.
So that's
holy shit.
That's from my trusty agent on the street, but she hasn't worked there in a while. So if anyone has like if I'm wrong, instead of coming in and killing me, if anyone has any firsthand info about how this went down, that seems like a logical thing to me.
Now this is just like the other thing with EA and Disney's got to hear about this shit now. Yeah. They don't want to upset the mouse.
No.
They don't want to deal with this horse shit.
Yeah. His office is full of Iron Maidens.
I mean, like, seriously, though. Like, they're like, oh, we're going to put out this cool, this is good for our game. It's going to come out there. And then they got to hear about GameStop promising customers more. Now they're pissed off. And now they're blaming Sony, which then kind of ties into Disney. And Disney's like, I don't want to deal with this shit.
And then it's like you go in there, though, and they're like, do you want to pre-order anything? I'm like, no, I'm good. And they're like, oh, it's going to sell fast. This guarantees you a copy. No. How many times have we seen that pre-ordering from GameStop doesn't guarantee you a fucking thing?
So each store, in theory, should get a certain amount that they're capped the pre-orders at, right?
I guess so,
and so I guess from up high, they said, well, there's no cap. Just do whatever. But now it's going to cost them because now they're going to give out the $25
I know
coupons.
at some point they stopped taking pre-orders because my buddy couldn't get one in. But that doesn't mean that they didn't well oversell them beforehand. So,
but now the other problem is that if people went to GameStop thinking they get the pre-order, now they're canceled. They could have gotten that pre-order elsewhere.
Exactly.
And now they're fucked.
Yep.
GameStop, come on. You know what, GameStop? I don't want you to go out of business. I really don't. I don't want to see any businesses go under. But you're
not helping yourself.
No, you're not helping. You're not keeping yourself relevant and making smart business decisions here. And you're annoying the people you're partnered with. You're annoying Sony. You're annoying Disney, who shouldn't have to deal with this shit. Just do what you're told. Act as you're going to act normally in the limited time left you have on this earth, and don't fucking make me talk about you like this. Is that reasonable? Fuck. It's not simple. Don't oversell this shit. Oh man. Is there anything else going on?
No.
You're gonna play the game? I never played a Kingdom Hearts game.
I think the idea is interesting. It's not shocking that you haven't played anything.
I've played a lot of games over the past year, Ian.
Yeah,
I have.
Yeah, well, maybe you'll play something modern so we can discuss modern topics someday.
Ian is book shaming me right now.
I'm not book shaming you.
He's shaming me for writing and doing research for a certain Super Nintendo guidebook.
Pat, if you weren't doing the Super Nintendo guidebook, you wouldn't be playing modern games anyway.
I'd be playing games. Yes, I would, Ian.
Okay.
I'd be playing Civilization on my Switch. That's modern.
Modern-ish, yeah.
Oh,
it's like 3 years old now.
if there was Unreal Tournament out, I'd be playing that.
I know that's for true.
I'd be competitive.
For sure. You'd be
Fucking flacking your face. We're all over your gusha. All right, anyway.
Whoa, gushing all over my face? Fuck. That's a fan fiction. Anyways.
We are proud to be partnering with Dollar Shave Club, Ian.
It's true.
And we all have our everyday grooming routines. From showering to brushing our teeth to, yes, shaving. I shave every day, just about, Ian. I like using the nice shampoo, nice conditioner for my floofy hair. That's my routine. What do you do, Ian?
I enjoy exfoliating.
You exfoliate?
Heavily. Yes.
Heavily exfoliation?
Yeah, it's become a hobby of late.
No matter your routine, Dollar Shave Club has everything you need to help you look, feel, and smell your best. A lot of you have probably heard of Dollar Shave Club and think that they only stick to shaving products. Well, don't let the name deceive you. Dollar Shave Club can solve all your grooming needs in one box.
They've got shower products, they've got oral care products, toothbrushes, hair stuff, skin products, butt wipes, and of course the shaving products as well. If you have a body, if there's something you need to groom on there, they can probably take care of it for you. They ship right to your house, but the more you buy, the more you save. They call it their handsome discount. Oh. So now's the time to see how great their stuff is. Right now, they have this great offer where you can get their shave, shower, or oral starter set, each for only $5. We got all three of them.
Got all three. Let's see. We got the shave starter set.
With the razor and the butter.
That's a good razor.
It's good butter.
The shave butter
Don't put it on toast.
The shave butter is honestly the best shave I ever had with the shave butter. That's true. It's fantastic. They also have their oral care starter set with a weighty toothbrush, and a trial size version of the Superba fluoride peppermint toothpaste, and it smells great. The peppermint kick. And then they also have this is my, if I had a personal favorite, this is mine. It's the shower starter set.
It's my favorite.
It has the hydrating body cleanser, calming amber and lavender. Ian loves that.
That stuff is the stuff.
They have
the stuff.
It's the stuff. Yes, it's for a good cleanse with your poofy little like body poof. Whatever. They have the sage black pepper hair and scalp shampoo, and this makes, speaking of exfoliation. Well, I don't know if this does this, but this is my favorite. The citrus Hawaiian ginger daily face cleanser. You feel like a new man or woman in the morning with this. Yeah, they're great. Join the club with one of the starter sets for just $5. After that, the restock box ships regular size products at a regular price. Get this exclusive deal at dollarshaveclub.com/CUpodcast today. This was an interesting, cute little story out of Kotaku. A lot of Doom topics lately. A lot of Doom topics, but this is a cute
Doom
one.
is good.
Doom is great. So a modder is trying to recreate Legend of Zelda NES in Doom, and it's adorable. It's only like a little bit of overworld. It's obviously not complete. So the user is called Xcodius. Says he doesn't have time to fully develop the project, so they released the files and the demo of the project onto the internet for other people to complete. So it's cute. It
looks really nice.
There's a YouTube video of it that I found that I'll put here. and credit the person there, that the user. So you walk around. There's Octorok shooting at you. It's adorable. You walk in. You pick up the wooden sword.
And it sends little beams out. Yep.
Yeah, you can shoot out the beams when you have the full health. I think the shield worked with the Octoroks. Find the rocks. I saw him get hit several times, and then I think with the right angle, I think it deflected, but I'm not positive that was built into that.
Okay.
Obviously, this is almost like this is a proof of concept. But what was more adorable though was the other mode. You can play Doom as Link.
Yeah, that was fun to watch.
And that to me has a lot more appeal to me actually when I think about it.
That was awesome.
So he comes in and just starts stabbing the Doom Marines in the chest and then firing at them. They should have built up different weapons though instead. That's where the models work out. Get the bow and arrow in there. Get the magic wand.
Sure.
We played Heretic. Heretic is basically a Doom mod, right?
Yeah, I mean it is.
I mean seriously. I mean
it's a WAD file.
So let's just do that. Do that with and throw in some Octoroks and stuff into that. I think that's more appeals to me. I just think it was adorable.
Yeah, it was very cute.
So I think this. I love the little Moblin, so adorable. The little Moblin first person. I just want to be his friend. I always liked when he gave you rupees. It's like, oh, he's my friend. He's a secret Moblin.
It's a secret.
He's a double agent.
Yep.
He's again Link double agent there. I just think we're getting so much more mileage out of Doom than anyone probably imagined when it came out. That the mods are still going strong to this day.
Doom may very well be the most important video game of all time.
You know what, Ian? I would take that over another one for sure. I won't argue on that, or liable to get thrown off the video game. Here's that statement. I love you, Norm. But come on, man. All right. Is that it for this topic? I thought we'd get more mileage out of this. No. Is there any other NES games you want to get a
Wally Bear in the No Game.
Wally Bear in the No Game.
Wally
Someone make a Wally Bear in the No Game.
Where
you're skateboarding around, throwing frisbees.
Yeah, just throwing frisbees.
But you need the looping music, though. You need the music.
It'd be real easy to make the wallpaper just one texture of like an apple for the parents' house and just tile it all over everything.
You have to save your turtle friend from using drugs.
Yeah, Toby Turtle.
Need a T-shirt.
Why do I like that game?
It's fun. The concept's fun.
Yeah.
All right, Ian. So we have a new scumbag buyer of the week at Luna.
So yeah, I'll try to make a customer story. Something.
I think the fans demand it.
Some of the times they're going to be real good. Sometimes they're not going to be the best. Sometimes they might be positive or negative. Anyways,
lots of ins, lots of outs.
A lot of ins, a lot of outs. This guy comes in all the time. He kind of annoys me.
Does he know about the podcast?
If he does, it doesn't matter because next time we see you, you're removed from the store. You're kicked out.
So, banned.
So you're done.
Dropping the ban hammer.
So if you do,
okay, strap in. I'm excited.
If you do listen, you're out because this is shady and shitty and awful. I'm excited.
Oh god.
So this guy likes to come in, and he does a lot of trade-ins, which is fine.
The life of the store.
I need trade-ins, so I don't want anyone to take me wrong on this. But he's one of those customers who never buys anything with money. And his trade-ins are always just random bullshit that he finds at like the swap meet or garage sales. So
give me an example.
Just like a 3 Genesis carts and maybe like a 1080 snowboarding and a wave race, and then maybe there might be a Super Mario World in there, but it's just scraps.
Okay.
And they're never they're never like clean or whatever, but we need the trade-ins and we rarely deny anyone. I mean, there are definitely things we won't take in because we don't need them, but I'm not just going to look at these somewhat decent games and be like, okay, I can't sell them. So we take them in, and he'll only buy what he's looking for if he gets enough credit. And what he'll do is he'll run outside, he'll look at what he wants, and he'll run outside and get some stuff. Be like, what can I get for this? And I'll be like, you can get this. Then he'll run outside and grab another game.
Like he's just straight trading?
Yeah. How much can I get for this one? And yeah, he'll literally try
versus just bringing them all in.
Instead of bringing them all in, he'll just stack up like cartridges until he gets me to my magic level where I go, okay, that's $37. I guess we're even now. And like he does it that way because he doesn't want me to go through and look for stuff. Like otherwise, obviously, I'm going to take the good stuff that we need because that's beneficial. But if he doesn't have the box in there, then I can't. So I'm only getting what he's giving me. Do you get it? He's trying to build up the credit through crap without showing his hand, and that's fine. But it's
showing what hand though?
I don't know. Trade the better stuff. If you don't need it, you'll get more quicker. Anyways, it's a long, drawn-out process. And he's like one of those passively aggressive happy guys. Like, he's happy, but he's not. He's a jerk. Do you get what
I don't know what you're talking about, Ian.
Yeah, but you kind of...
I don't know anyone like that at all.
Yeah. So, anyway, he buys from our one store a copy of Target Earth on the Genesis.
Never heard of that.
Good game.
Look that up.
That's Assault Suit Valken, I think. It's either Assault Suit Valken or Assault Suit
shooter?
Lanos. Yeah. Should say.
Okay.
So he buys a copy of it complete. As a loose game, I think it's like $8, $8 to $10.
Okay.
Complete copy. It's 30. So he buys it, and probably a better way I could have told this. Basically, the next day, Lane at the other location, the other store. So he buys it from the Chula Vista store.
Okay.
He took the sticker off the case, put it on the cartridge, and exchanged the cartridge back in with the receipt to get his $30 in credit.
Hold on a second. He gets the complete in-box copy for $30.
$30
With the trade-in.
At one location
He takes the sticker off
of the box
of the case. He puts it on the cartridge to trade it back in
to get his full credit because he just needed the case.
to trick him to give him the credit back.
Right, and because it was between two stores, and while it's not a crazy expensive game, Target Earth is not something we see very frequently.
Sure.
You know, it wouldn't have really jumped to Lane's head.
Sure.
Like, you know, you can... I mean, it's always worth checking this stuff, but, you know, a dude who's a regular... And this is the thing. He was a regular customer.
Okay.
So, he's a regular. So, we know we've seen him before. We all think he's kind of, like, off, but, you know, we've all worked with him before. So, he comes in to do another trade and just hands, you know, her a receipt for a game that we rarely see, and it says $30 on the receipt.
It's like, okay, here's the game.
$30 on the card. Yeah, and you know, so she gave him the credit back, and then he bought something else. So, basically stole $22 from us.
He's a thief. He's a lying scumbag thief.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's great. And I can't wait to see him again. I don't know which one.
How did you find out?
Lane...
Did you see it on the shelf and be like, oh, well, that's weird?
What happened was Lane had put the cartridge down and then went to go inventory it back in later. And when she went to go put the number in the inventory next to Target Earth, she realized that it said $8, $7.99 or $9.99 or whatever it was. So she called Walter and she goes, "Hey Walter, do you have a price for this game? Price tag on this says 30 and here it says $8 or $10 or whatever it was. I think it was 8." And Walter goes, "Oh," and then explained the situation.
I think your receipt should have the condition of the game on it.
Yeah. I mean, I usually put it on there, but still, that's not something we've ever had to deal with.
I think though that's a loophole. He exploited a loophole. I mean, it's scummy, but that's a loophole. You got to put down Target Earth with case. Was there instructions too?
Don't blame us. It's his fault.
I'm just saying you have to watch out for people.
Well, yeah, but like I said, that's never been an issue. So, what were you saying? Has it been on what? What was what?
What was I gonna say? Was it the manual as well?
Yeah, it was a complete copy.
Oh.
So, yeah, case manual, 22 extra.
So he's officially banned from all.
Oh
all
yeah, he's
locations?
fucking banned.
Two locations, Chula Vista and El Cajon.
Yeah,
banned from both.
he's done. Can't remember his name, but I know what he looks like, and he can get the fuck out. So, anyways, yeah, that's
fun.
That's this week's story.
Wow. Okay. So that person who will remain nameless.
Yeah.
Probably someone I've seen at the swap meet. Maybe that's where he's got his stuff from.
Yeah.
Who knows? Or various swap meets. He's a scumbag buyer. Scumbag customer of the week. There you go. That's a new one. All right. This is a Q&A, Patreon Q&A. Patreon.com/CU podcast. Someone was complaining that we were pushing it every 2 minutes when we mentioned it like once or twice per podcast in the comments. It was really weird. It's like people can complain about anything. But anyway, Ian has his weekly writings on there.
Suck their shit out of their own asshole for all I
They
care.
can do that. That's okay. That's not part of the Patreon.
Sorry, that's not.
You get the full video. The full video podcast is available. Ian has writing that he puts up when I nag him. We also have Ian's monthly hangouts on there, and we have the poll topics.
We have the poll topic.
This died a death. Third place, NES puzzle game discussion, 17%.
It's dead.
Your dream is done, Ian. Second place, 25%. If all game genres would disappear, which one would you save? 25%. Number 1 at 58%. What games are better on the console versus the arcade? That was my idea for that topic. Ian, take it away.
It's a nice one. So I've got two.
Thanks, Ian.
I've got two. My first is Contra. Contra in the arcade.
A little away from the mic, Ian.
Contra in the arcade is not nearly as much fun as Contra on the NES.
Not as smooth.
No, I was talking to...
Doesn't play as well.
I think it was my buddy Lincoln or someone else. But
has a vertical screen. You can't see anything.
Right. The vertical screen is nice for the vertical levels.
Nah.
But honestly, it's better to just bar it off on the side like it does on the home version for the taller levels. Also, the controls are just... The thing about Contra that's so great is...
So many things great about Contra.
Yes, but the controls being as crisp as they are is probably the best part.
Yes,
because you wouldn't play that game over and over again if you felt like the controls were unfair.
No.
The fact that the controls are tight and you feel like you're in control at all times when you're controlling the character, when you die, it's easy for you to say, I fucked up. So the game's hard, but you don't feel like it's working against you in any way.
Yes, all the deaths are fair.
Yeah.
If you die, you screwed up. I mean, there's a couple little things where enemies might like spawn in a weird place as you jump, but that's rare, So yeah.
And the other one for me, there's a ton of them. This is a great topic. I just wish I could think of more off the top of my head.
I'm going to go through
Gunsmoke. Gunsmoke is one of mine as well.
That's not a bad arcade game.
It's not a bad arcade game, but I do like the home version a lot.
Yeah, there's a slight not RPG elements. When you buy the items and things, you get the wanted poster that you build up for. You get the horse. There's a horse in the arcade, but you can buy it. It's fun.
It's there to stretch stuff out a little bit, but I like it.
I'm looking at a certain NES guide app, which is getting a massive overhaul, by the way. Oh, we're going to talk about the app in the future. I've been biting my own tongue in the past year wanting to talk about the app. Anyway, okay, which ones are better for me? I'm going to start off with one that came to mind was the Tengen version of Pac-Man. Oh, excuse me, Miss Pac-Man. The Tengen version of Miss Pac-Man is a really good game.
Specifically the Genesis one.
And the NES one. They have all the same shit on it. So you have multiplayer modes. You have co-op modes.
Random
mazes. Weird ass shit that I can't even... I got to look at the review in a certain NES guidebook to say. But they went...
You can turn the boost hack on.
They went above and beyond. They said, we have a Pac-Man game, which is just a maze game, right? So let's just throw all this shit in that we can throw in. We'll just throw it at you, whether or not you want it, until you realize you want it. I mean, seriously, that's how the game is.
Yeah.
So that to me is a standout where, it's like, playing a first generation arcade game isn't a big deal on a console usually. Like you play Galaga on the NES and it's Galaga, who cares? But Miss Pac-Man is above and beyond. Of course, the Namco version, they just stripped out all the cool stuff because I don't know why. That's the first one. Super Off-Road on the Super Nintendo is really good because they added, I think they doubled the amount of stages for it, the amount of race tracks. So without looking, Super Off-Road in the arcade, which is a great game, Super Off-Road maybe has, 6 different races, 6 different tracks, something like that. And then they reverse how they go. There's at least, I think, 10 to 12 on the Super Nintendo without looking. And that's one of the upcoming games I got to review for the guidebook. So I'm looking forward. I'm trying to keep some of the good ones near the end where I'm like, I'm going to enjoy this. I got all the WF games out of the way. I got those out first.
Nice.
Let's see what else. What else is better on a console? You want to say even Tetris? You like Tetris better on the console?
No.
Or on the handheld?
No. I mean, it's great versions on there, but the arcade version's great with its 2-player simultaneous.
You know what's not better? Ikari Warriors is definitely not better.
No.
That's definitely going in the opposite direction. I'm going to run out of steam here. I'm trying to look at some of these games here and see what's better. I'm trying to think of any of those Atari games from that I love. Rampart is worse on the Super Nintendo, just as good on the NES with poorer graphics, but it's the same game.
I was thinking about that, but it's not better.
It's the same game. Any shooters that are better? There's got to be some shooters that are better on a console with more options.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. There was actually one that I was thinking about on the NES, and Atomic Robo Kid. That's not on the NES. That's on the Genesis. Domestic. It got released, and it was released on the PC Engine. And all 3 versions are good, but I would argue that the home conversions are better than the arcade conversions. Arcade conversions look a little bit better, but the game just plays better.
I got one, Castlevania.
Sure. I mean,
Rygar. Usually, the arcade games that became NES games that were like the action platformers were pretty straightforward.
Definitely Rygar.
Because they were limited in terms of the time and a lot of people to die quickly. Rygar is a standard arcade game that it's okay, but on the NES, it's a whole adventure where you go and do whatever the hell you want, and
if you really want to compare the two, both games bearing the name Ninja Gaiden. The NES one was way better than the
they're different genres, entirely. Ninja Gaiden is originally a beat 'em up. It's fine. It's a fine beat 'em up. But yeah, Ninja Gaiden on the NES is, I would say, better. Hell, fine. Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
The VS version is not as good as the NES one. It just doesn't feel as right. Well, it doesn't feel as right playing with a joystick, platform playing with a joystick like that. Yeah, some of those NES games are better on Nintendo games. First party are better on there. Not the play choice ones. The VS ones are different usually. I forgot about Rygar. That's a huge one. That's a monumentally better game. Mm-hmm. Then again, in people's defense, Castlevania I never really saw in the US as an arcade machine, as a standalone. I know it exists, but I haven't personally seen it.
Yeah, but it's not Castlevania 1. It's a completely different thing. It has a different name.
It's Castlevania though. You're whipping shit.
All right.
You're gonna what?
It has a different name. It's not comparing 1 to 1.
Castlevania arcade game. You're trying to tell me it's a different game? Haunted Castle.
Yeah.
That's what it was called.
Yeah, it's a different game.
Okay, let's look it up. How much different is Haunted Castle here? That's Castlevania. It looks more like Castlevania 4. Actually, in terms of the graphics.
Okay, but it's not Castlevania.
Fuck, you look like Simon Belmont, you're whipping shit. It's fucking Castlevania. It's like the Ninja Gaiden difference. Ninja Gaiden's kind of a different...
That's why I said it was a stretch.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, Ian. God, you're really getting sassy with this podcast. You book shamed me before for playing games for the review book. You're being sassy.
I'm just saying it's not the same as comparing Gunsmoke to Gunsmoke or Contra to Contra or Super Off-Road to Super Off-Road.
Oh, God.
So
arcade games aren't allowed to have different names from the console version. Like that's so unheard of.
It's a completely different game.
Yeah, Rygar is a completely different game.
Yes,
it's just named the same. It's the same difference.
Right, but Castlevania is not called Castlevania.
Holy shit, it's Castlevania.
All right, bud.
Is Haunted Castle just Castlevania with a different name in the arcade? Let the viewers decide that. Holy shit.
We'll let the viewers decide that.
Oh my God.
This is going to work as well for you as Trump, Pelosi, and Schumer.
Oh, yeah. That was an interesting meeting. I have people in the comments. Is this going to end my career? The Haunted Castle is Castlevania.
Everything we do is a career ender.
Jeez, God.
Ending careers 1 minute at a time.
Every podcast. Careers ended 145 times, plus live appearances. Okay. Q&A time on the CU podcast. Speaking of career enders, this is from @Snatch Games. That's a funny name.
It is. Makes me laugh.
Do you feel a disconnect with people who also love video games but don't seem to have other hobbies / distractions? I really do love games, but personally feel like I can't relate to online users that seem to treat them as a top priority in their lives.
Yeah, I would agree. I can't relate to that necessarily. I mean, I can feel that disconnect, and it's not an insult. It's just a matter of different hobbies. I have like 3 or 4 main hobbies, and I like to rotate between them. Games, reading,
sassing Pat.
Games, reading, music, cooking.
Okay.
Giving Pat a little lip.
Yeah.
So I like to spread it out. I like to rotate them. I guess I just don't understand how, because it's just not my number one hobby. I don't understand how that would be an all-encompassing or only hobby, because I think I know what they're talking about. You do see people online, and it's literally that's it. It's just the feed.
They are the in quotes gamers.
Yes, they are the hardcore gamers.
They encompass the gamer lifestyle, I guess, and that's like their voting block
So I've met lots of people like that who are cool and they have interesting opinions. I guess my thing is I want to be able to talk about more than games. I get sick of talking about games. I need to be able to talk about other stuff too.
Sure.
So yes, I do feel some disconnect there because even though I play a lot of games, I don't feel like I fall into the lifestyle, I guess. There's a difference between being a fan and a fanatic to a degree. I mean, one's actually just a definition, but an abbreviation.
Difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, it's a difference. I see what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay. Anything else?
No.
Okay. So this to me is the same as saying I disconnect with people that make, we'll just say, sports their number one priority, where they're just like a massive sports fan, and you walk into their house and they're always wearing a football
and
jersey,
pennants, and
there's all pennants, and that's all they're doing is doing, they're always gambling on sports or doing fantasy leagues. I can't identify with that.
Yeah.
I don't identify with people that they only have one main interest and that's it. And that goes. I mean, honestly, that goes for anything.
It's not. This really is beyond games. It's
because I don't want to hate gamers again. But I know a few people that do, they do yoga. They're instructors. I've been doing yoga a while. Yoga to me is a fun activity. I buy into the spirituality to a degree, but there are some people that eat, sleep, and breathe yoga. That's all they do. They do yoga every day. They go to retreats all the time, and unless you do yoga, I would be hard to picture someone connecting with them, because that's their lifestyle. The same way people live at the gym sometimes, and some people go to the gym every day for like 2 to 3 hours, and they're fitness buffs, which is fine, but that becomes a lifestyle. It's the amount of time you're putting into it that you can't put into other things.
Right. I guess I just have a disconnect from any hobbyists that are just, it becomes a lifestyle. That's it. And that's it. It's far more fun to chat and hang out with people who have a hand in a few other things.
It's healthier to have varied interests.
Yeah.
If you're going to dive all into one lifestyle, then you might get upset at certain announcements about mobile games that the average person couldn't give two shits about, because why would you? Because in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't fucking matter.
Oh, you don't say.
Because your life still goes on and you're still around.
And you still have other things you can do.
Because you have other interests on the side. Maybe you go to the gym and work out a bit. Maybe you're going to watch the big game on Sunday. You like different things. Maybe you follow politics on the side, because that's actually stuff that affects your life.
Perhaps you're going to spend days trying to perfect a rolled omelet.
Yeah, that's a good quality to have. Guys, women like a guy that cooks. Learn how to cook even a little bit, and you'll impress them. That's Pat's dating hack.
It's my insurance policy.
It's his insurance policy. At the very least, hey, I can cook you breakfast. And a pretty good chili, by the way.
Thank you.
Anything else been cooking that you've been holding out on me lately?
Yeah, I'll bring you something next time. I was going to bring you this egg stuff, but I wasn't sure if you'd like it, so maybe next time.
Why don't you let me decide if I like it, Ian?
I'll bring it.
Now I'm hungry after hearing that.
I'll bring it next time.
That's the worst thing. I've had,
You asked!
You could have said I didn't make enough. I would have preferred you lied to me.
Well, I didn't make enough, but I would have liked to have I would have waited anyways.
Ian, this is our potential to bond over food, and he just slaps it away. He's being sassy, and he's not giving me food.
I'm not being sassy.
Being sassy.
You're sassy because I didn't bring you any food.
I'm not being sassy. I'm just disappointed. That's all. I'm sassy.
Thanks, Dad.
I'm sassy about not being able to wear that Bloodsport shirt. I'm disappointed about the food.
Dadcast, Pod Dad.
Someone's got it.
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
I'm just disappointed in you, Ian. I had an ex used to always say, "Yeah, I made cupcakes." I'm like, "Oh God, I can't wait to try them." Oh, I didn't bring them. Don't tell me you made cupcakes then.
Yeah,
cupcakes are like number 2 on my list of sweets. It's up there. It's up there. Anyway, sorry, I'm really hungry now all of a sudden.
I'll do some egg tomorrow.
flexpromeals.com/CU podcast.
Yeah, Flex Pro Meals.
Anyway, what were we saying? What were we talking about?
Oh,
yeah.
done.
Yeah, so this isn't to attack you if you like games or if you're really into yoga. I do yoga once a week, but it's not as healthy as if you vary your interests. You don't get sucked down into a black hole of one entity really running your life, whether or not you realize it.
And the thing is, it's not that I can't talk to or have fun with those people.
No.
But I do feel like disconnect is different because I can. If I want to talk about video games, I have lots of friends online who are great to talk about video games to, but what else are we talking? Like,
because sometimes you want
anything else?
Because sometimes you want to move on. Because so say you're a gamer and you came over. We're gonna play games for a couple hours, a few hours. We're gonna have fun. But hey, how about we check out this Unsolved Mysteries thing with Robert Stack? And you say, no, I'm not interested in Unsolved Mysteries. So I say, okay, that's fine. Get the fuck out of my house at that point. Because you don't like Unsolved Mysteries.
If you're not into Robert Stack, you need to leave.
No, if you ain't down with the Stack, I don't have your back.
Mass respect for the Stack man.
Yeah. I like my little slogan I just made up. I'm good at this. You missed that. Anyway, yeah, this has been a fun See You podcast, Ian.
It's been good.
It's been good.
We got through a lot of stuff.
Got through a lot of stuff. A lot of ins, a lot of outs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna be at we're gonna be at an event. God, we should plug this. Bobby and Chris are gonna kill me. We'll be at SoCal Retro Gaming Expo. That'll be is that a month? Oh, it's 4 weeks out. February 23rd and 24th in Pasadena, California.
Woo!
SoCal Retro Gaming Expo. Schedule up here. Our pals Andre Meadows, Black Nerd Comedy, Norm, the gaming historian, Metal Jesus Rocks, John Riggs, James Rolfe.
Is going?
Yep. James Rolfe, Boogie2988, and more are going to be there. Our friend Alex. I love Alex. My favorite person in the world.
Alex is a real sweetheart.
Yeah, I fucking love Alex. That's why if I had a brother, I wanted to be Alex. I wish I had a brother. You're lucky you have a fucking brother. I'm jealous of that.
I like my brother.
No, I'm sassy. So go to you buy tickets, use code CU Podcast. Go to SoCal Retro Gaming Expo, click on the little Eventbrite thing, buy tickets. CU Podcast saves you 10% that code. So there you go. You can save some money and have some fun, and I might bring some spare systems to sell. I have a certain NES guidebook that I'm running out of them, but I'll have them there.
I'll be selling myself.
You do a little bird box.
Yeah.
Ian was doing bird boxes before the Bird Box movie. He was doing the bird. You were. Wow.
Oh, the bird boxes. I should do more bird.
He was doing bird. Netflix. You should sue Netflix over bird box.
I should do more bird boxes.
Wow, I just thought of that. Wow.
More grape crates.
Grape crates.
Yeah.
Okay. Other than that, speaking of Gerard, congratulations, Gerard, your 1 million subscriber.
Woo! Congrats, my friend.
We'll see you at the Shindig coming up. Yeah. So this has been a fun podcast. I'm just starving now because Ian didn't bring me eggs.
Next week.
On behalf of Ian Ferguson, I'm Pat Contry. We'll see you in a week, and be on the lookout for an announcement in the next week or so, a firm date for the NES Marathon, and also a firm date for the Kickstarter. Thanks.
So much firmness.